The unclaimed dead is an idea in the Vodou tradition. The idea that in the ancestral homeland, in Genin, in the spiritual realm, there are the vast majority of dead which are unclaimed. These souls that basically had no identification to the spiritual in life are not claimed by any affiliation to any higher being in the afterlife, so they are basically unclaimed. You can communicate with these dead, but they basically have no greater, how do I say this, greater loyalty. Because in life they basically stuck to the material. They had no desire to stick to try to converse with anything that is higher than themselves, and they had no desire to study anything that was beyond this realm, or really experience it, or even try to attain it especially. And thus they are the unclaimed dead in Vodou, and in Voodoo, and in Vodun, and in Santeria, that particular set of traditions. But this is also applicable to basically every spiritual path. Those who do not work towards a spiritual goal, they do not try to communicate with higher beings or worship higher beings, or try to understand even higher existences. Then there is no relationship between you and the astral realm. And the astral realm is that realm which these higher beings exist, that are above us. You know, there's a causal realm above it. But like here's what I say, basically for the first sentence, and then that is connected to this image. Those who have no exchange between themselves and higher beings in the astral realm cannot move there from this realm. And basically we have the material realm in the center. The material realm, 1 times. Okay, and then the astral realm is exactly 3 times the size of the material realm, so I added a 2. So we kind of add these. And the causal realm, basically around that, is unknown because it's so much vaster than even the astral realm. But right now we're just talking about the astral realm. How can one get there? Basically, as a stepping stone above this one. But also, the hells exist there as well, but they're in a much smaller part of the astral realm. Most of the astral realm is various dimensions and worlds one would call heavens, based on one's spiritual or religious endeavors. One might go to one of these astral realms for a time and to develop. If we get beyond the reincarnation cycle of this earth, if we are actually worthy of going on to those realms that we want to go on to in the astral realm, and developing from there. But we have to develop right here. We have to have an exchange, a spiritual exchange with the astral realm, with beings in the astral realm, with a higher understanding than this plane, than this material universe. We have to have a higher understanding in order to move beyond it. And the hells existing in the astral realm is something else also. Since the hells exist in the astral realm, but they are very confined to certain parts of the astral realm, those who are power hungry, greedy, lustful, and how do I say this? Desiring of their ego being solidified. Those who want those things so bad and to such an intensity that is so extremely beyond even this material world, this material realm, this universe. They go to the astral hells. And a lot of the time, if they work with beings there before they leave Earth, then they actually succeed in going to the hells that they want and aren't necessarily tortured, but their existence will be very confined to what that Lord of Hell or that Lady of Hell or what that being of hell basically has reign over. Has control over. Because there's various parts of the hellish existence that various beings have control over, that various beings operate within and with, like the Void for Astral. She's an oracle. She's also a lady of psychic magic, of that space, that void around everything, something that exists in that void from which all energy is drawn into the material realm to create it and into parts of the astral realm, and thus time is basically irrelevant to her realm, the void. But she is also she is a lady of hell. She the void is basically a hellish realm, and it's not necessarily the idea of hell that you might have in your mind, but it's an ultra materialistic force that is dark and is not necessarily the abyss, but is abyssal, and basically consumes, doesn't produce like the heavenly realms. But that's one example of a hellish being, a lady of hell, that exists in the void, and she knows the past, the present, and the future, which begs the question: why would she ally herself with the evil side of things, to make it simply? But there's a lot more to it. There are purposes served by even the lords of hell. That doesn't mean that they're right in all the things that they do, and the vast majority of the things that they do are terrible, but they serve a purpose. But we have to choose the good side above, the virtuous side above these lords and ladies of hell, above these kings of hell, and above Satan. We have to choose the higher path above even those who serve a certain function. That we show the game, that we show God, that we show the function of reality, the function of creation, that we have chosen correctly, and that we're playing by the rules. You know, the rules are very set. The rules are very, sometimes they seem very corrupt, they seem very cruel, but the rules are set, and the more we understand about reality, creation, and the rules of how this reality operates, the Dharma, the more we can learn from it and move on from what we want to take place and see what really does take place. Now, the material realm is our realm. The astral realm is the realm of energies, of lords and ladies of hell, but also divine beings like Kali Ma, like other forms of Divine Mother, like different forms of Shiva, different forms of Vishnu, like the gods of the Greco-Roman mythology. They exist in the astral realm. There's different parts of the astral realm. Now, the causal realm is gods even beyond them. And the causal realm is basically universes being a part of one soul. And it's very hard to understand. That's why I put 1 times in material, 2 times in the astral realm, which is 3 if you add the 2, of course, and unknown times in the causal realm, because it's very unknown to me as to how many times the causal realm is as big as the material realm, because the material realm is only a third of how big the astral realm is. And you know, we imagine space as being infinite. If we travel in one direction, we can go forever. But in truth, we'll end up back where we started, because space is actually spherical, just like time. But the astral realm, it's very true there as well, but it's actually bigger than the material realm. All the universes that are in the material realm, and there's a lot of different dimensions associated with the material realm as well. So all these things are actually just all the universes, all the dimensions. Even this universe that seems to have endless space is only 1/3 of the astral realm. And then we don't know how much of the astral realm is actually part of the causal realm, or at least I don't, so I can't say. But I hope that this expounding on the material, astral, and causal realm has given you a better idea about what these realms are. I find it incredibly fascinating to study both the heavens and the hells in the astral realm, and then the different functions they serve, and the different religions they're a part of, or the different beings that are in charge of them or inhabit them. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I might not know it, might not know the answer, but feel free to ask me. And if you have any comments, feel free to comment. You know, if you disagree with me, if you think that everything I'm saying is ridiculous, or if you think that everything that I'm saying is just basically illogical, feel free to comment. I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to conversations on many different topics, and I'm open to opposing views. So thank you very much for watching, and y'all have a great one.